The Haunting of Coe College, from Zoe. I've been listening to the show for years and keep thinking about writing in, but felt like I needed to after listening to your High Strangeness in Iowa episode. I actually attended Coe College for my undergrad, and let me tell you, Helen is far from the only strange thing at that school. First off, Helen's connection to the clock is that supposedly her family donated it after she died in 1918. Above the clock is the painted image of a young woman's face, which is supposed to be Helen's. And while I never had any confirmed encounters with Helen, despite living in the residence hall that she died in for a year, I can confirm that that clock is profoundly spooky. It now resides in the Alumni Affairs office, which is where you have to go to sign your thank you letters if you've had a scholarship that is funded by the alumni donors. This means I got to sit in front of it whilst I waited my turn to write letters for several years of my undergrad career. I didn't realise it was Helen's clock the first time I saw it. I felt very unsettled looking at it. This was before I had a smartphone, so I just kept on trying to find other things to focus on instead of that clock. I was so glad to leave. The rest of what I experienced at Coe was small stuff. Shadows out of the corner of my eyes, creepy feelings, that kind of thing. But there's one instance that really stands out. I was responsible for one of the campus clubs for about a year and a half, which meant I either needed to be in the building we used, and we met on a Friday night and tended to stay up late, in order to make sure everyone was out before calling security come and lock up, or make sure someone else was there to take care of it. One night, the activity I was running finished early, so my friend and I were sitting on one of the couches on the first floor, waiting for everyone else to finish up, when we both saw what looked like someone going up the stairs out of the corner of our eyes. It wasn't impossible that someone had come into the building, but we could see both doors from where we sat, and neither of them had opened, so we thought it was someone else from the group coming to get us for some reason and changing their mind. Naturally, we went upstairs, because we usually met in the classrooms on the second floor, to see who needed us. But everyone in the other room said no one had left. Of course, being in college and at least being somewhat convinced of our own invulnerability, we decided to go check the rest of the building. Now, the building in question is technically 4 floors, with the top being locked for students and used for storage. Security had already come by and locked the classrooms and offices that weren't in use. This wasn't a big building. There weren't really a lot of places to hide. So we checked the bathrooms on the first and second floors before going up to the empty 3rd floor. Nothing. No one in the bathrooms, and all the other doors were locked. So we started back towards the stairs, only to then see movement going up from the 3rd floor. We ran after it, only to come to the locked door going towards the 4th floor. At this point, we were both well freaked out and went back to the rest of the group and asked someone else if they could call security to lock up, and got out of there. Nothing like that ever happened again in that building whilst I was there, and that was far from the last time I was in that building late at night. It still makes me uneasy thinking about it. That building has since been renovated, and I wonder if things are still happening, or if it was truly a one-off situation. The one other thing I had happen was my one and only experience with sleep paralysis in my senior year, which featured a pale, angular figure hunched next to my desk watching me sleep. But, like I said, that only happened the once, and whilst it left me feeling creeped out and out of sorts the following day, it was probably just a result of stress mixed with the alcohol I had had before going to bed. Keep up the good work, guys. Love the show.
Thank you, Zoe. And I will say, I mean, I've spent most of my days marinating in stress, alcohol or both. I have yet to see a pale, angular man looming over me.
Fucking hell, I ate stress for 10 years. I didn't see fucking anything.
You know, I was thinking about the Coe College thing, and I mean, Zoe suggests that maybe this is something that's kind of come and gone, but everything I read suggests this is an ongoing thing with Coe College. Yeah. You know, this is, I think, based on what I've read, one of Iowa's most famous ghost stories.
Yeah.
Which, imagine how it must feel, you know, if this person has survived and you know, maybe they're watching from elsewhere. They're not at Coe College. They're just kind of watching from the afterlife, having a margarita, and just thinking, you bastards didn't give a shit about me till I died of the flu. And then they're watching all these people refuse to wear masks, and they're going, you motherfuckers.
Have we learned nothing?
Yeah. No, the answer is no.
Oh, that's all right then.
I don't know what I would do. I mean, I guess we sort of had a version of that with Nick in this this sort of thing in the tub where you kind of have to live with it afterwards. It's happened, and it doesn't make any sense. Now you have to try and make some kind of sense. You have to find a way to square it away in your brain. And I will say that's something I'll give to the skeptics. Is quite often I think they're just looking for a way to make it make sense in their heads. And I kind of understand that. I understand the fear and the just like, okay, this doesn't fit the model of the world I had kind of set out for me. What do I do now? So to a certain degree, I guess I sympathize.
Well, yeah. Also, it makes things they can't explain seem less scary.
If you can just dismiss it wholesale.
Yeah, if you can just basically... I mean, it's one of those things, like, these days a lot of people go, oh, well, it's because people have mouldy houses. That's why they're all seeing ghosts.
Jesus Christ.
I saw an article where somebody said, yeah, it's down to mould. But then, later on in the article, they said out of the properties that they'd done, 50% had mould, 50% didn't, and yet they were all claimed to be haunted. So basically, you've just told us what you think it is, and then later on in the article, you've told us that proves it's not true.
I was just going to say, how did they square that? But obviously, stupid me, the answer is they didn't bother.
Well, as with anything, you focus on what you can explain, and anything that doesn't fit it, you just ignore it. That's how it works. But, it is what it is. I mean, there's a very famous skeptic who spent years banging on and on about Oak Island being a complete fake, and it just being a sinkhole. And if you now go on his Wikipedia page, all the statements about that particular case have been completely removed from his Wikipedia.
Oh, really?
Because it clearly isn't a sinkhole, and clearly something odd has happened there.
Right. Interesting.
But this is what they do. There is, and this is a well-known fact, there is a very aggressive bunch of skeptics who go on Wikipedia and alter articles in their favour.
Really?
Yep.
That doesn't seem right. So what kind of articles?
Anything to do with the paranormal, cryptozoology and ufology, they will alter them, dismiss them. They will remove anything they've been wrong about on their personal pages if they have them. And they are extremely aggressive and very arrogant about it.
I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but still, it seems like dirty pool. But again, I guess that's how it's played.
Well, I suppose it gives them something else to think about other than their horrific homophobia and transphobia that they also like to indulge themselves in. They're just a bunch of bell ends. On the other side of this, right, I have witnessed two of the most brain-meltingly stupid posts I've seen this week in cryptozoological forums.
Oh, no.
One was from somebody in America who posted a picture of a fucking playground and said, here's the predator mode of a Bigfoot. It's a fucking playground, you dick. There's nothing happening. You've just taken a picture and then told us there's an invisible Bigfoot in it. That's not true. And you're just like, and there are thousands of them, of these people, all taking pictures of nothing, going, can you see it? No, because there's nothing there.
Oh.
And then 2 days later, some muppet uploaded some pictures of a tree. Can you see the dog man? Can you see a dog man? What, in Blackburn? No, there's not werewolves running about Blackburn, you stupid chuff. What are you on about? So somebody says, I'm sorry, that's terrible. And they just went, shut up, you dumb bitch. I mean, these are women as well. This is a woman who uploaded these photos. Anybody criticised her, it was just insults. And they weren't even good photos. They looked like they'd been taken on a potato, not a phone. And she got proof of Dogman. No! The only thing this proves is you need to see your doctor because your medication's run out. Honestly.
So I have an idea. We build a stadium on an ice floe. And we invite the skeptics, and we invite all the really credulous cryptid people to they're going to own each. They're going to pwn each other in the marketplace of ideas. That's how we sell it to them. Each of them is going to get whatever it is they want. They're going to win over the skeptics. The skeptics going to win over the idiots, and then we just push the ice floe out to sea, and then they're all gone.
Yeah. Polar bears need to eat too.
That's it. This is a circle of life moment, Paul. That's what this is.
Yeah. Anyway, and the final, the coup de grace.
Oh no, it
bullshit.
gets worse.
Oh yeah. I don't know why I was on X for some reason. I was looking just to see if anything remotely
Twitter.
interesting
You were on
was happening
Twitter.
on there.
We're not calling it that here. There is no X in this dojo.
Good. I was on Twitter, and I accidentally stumbled into a flat Earth conversation, and within 10 seconds, I could feel my eyes bleeding through the stupidity that I was reading.
Yep.
It's just and it was like somebody going, oh yeah, well, all these people that are against flat Earth, it's because they're tied to a belief system that's not right. So there's a man who's going on about flat Earth. The only object in the known universe is flat, is Earth. Okay, mate. Right you are. How do ships navigate? By using stars then, dickhead? And he explained that way. That's only been used for the last 50 years. No, it hasn't.
What?
What are you talking about? They know nothing. The people who push these kind of... What I've found, especially over the last 3 years, is... And obviously, because I love weird things, and there are certain conspiracies that have proven to be true. My experience of dealing with people who believe conspiracy theories is they know next to nothing about anything.
It helps.
It's like when people say, oh, they never landed on the moon. Well, tell me how you know that. Oh, well, Van Allen's belt. Well, what do you know about Van Allen's belt? Well, I just know it's radioactive. What about it, though? I'm radioactive.
Oranges are radioactive.
Everything's radioactive. If you get a Geiger counter, you will find trace results of radiation. That's the universe. It's everywhere. All of us are radioactive in amounts. It's like why you can go to Chernobyl and you can wear a special badge on you, and you're allowed to wander around in that particular area until that badge starts going boop, 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 boop.
I didn't know that.
That's you. Yeah. Because what's he called? Jeremy Wade, one of the world's greatest fishermen, does river monsters. He'd heard stories about mutated giant catfish living in the Chernobyl region after the nuclear meltdown that occurred there in '86. Right. And you can go there, but you have to wear one of these special badges, and it's a security alarm. And they also tell you can't walk there and you can't walk there. You walk there, and that was it. And he was allowed, I think he was allowed 4 or 5 hours, and then it just started going beep, 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 beep. And that's when it basically means you've been there long enough. If you're there any longer, you will begin to start to become ill. And they went, and he was fine. No side effects at all. So, honestly.
Paul, there are moments where I sit back and I think how much money you and I could make by preying on credulous dipshits.
Oh, I could, all I would need to do, this may or may not be someone in the cryptozoological scene. I am not naming names. What all you need to do is get your dad. Say you're filming in night vision in a wood in Florida, perhaps, and you get your dad to run across the background, and then you can spend the next 10 years living off that, claiming you've filmed a skunk ape.
Who would do such a thing? Oh.
And then try and claim that the Patterson Gimlin film's fake. What? And you've got your dad running about? Right you are, mate.
Rage Paul is my favorite, Paul.